ओ हो गया 100. ओके ओके देख लिया मैंने. ऑलराइट. List is called Old versus New Bollywood Mashup Songs 2021 90s Bollywood Songs Mashup or something like that. It looks something like this. There's an Akshay Kumar photo. So all right, let's see who all are in the house. I loved when somebody said 100 ho gaya. I was like, okay. And normally I wait for the music keeps going till I touch 100. So for those of you who know that, so cute. Sankala, hi. Mindshift.in. Hello, beautiful. Hello, sweetheart. Thank you, Anki. Purti saying hello, Puja. Mansi saying Saubana, my goddess. Yashupur saying looking stunning. Oh, thank you. So sweet. Hi, beautiful. So sweet. Okay. All the compliments. Thank you for all the compliments. Manisha saying you're God to me. I want to be your mentor, not your God. Okay. So, but thank you. Thank you for that. Can you elaborate on how you do scribing or journaling? So, you know what? I think it's the most important thing about scribing journaling is for you to know why you are doing it. So there are days when I'm in my creative process and I just like to scribe about what it is that's coming for me, right? There are days when I want to improve some part of my personality and I'll be scribing or journaling about that. So the questions I like to, if you just Google journal prompts on any of these Googles or whatever search engines, you will realize that there are so many questions you can ask yourself, because after a while it just gets boring to do the same thing again and again, at least for me. So I like to look for new ways of journaling. So sometimes I just like to, maybe for the week, answer what can I improve in myself, or how can I improve my relationship with Puneet, or what is it that I would love to learn this week. So different questions make you reflect and review. Like if you were a part of my enlightenment course, I give, I think, over 150 questions over the 77 days on what you can reflect on. The whole concept of journaling is reflecting upon your life by asking yourself questions that you normally wouldn't be asked or wouldn't answer. So focus on what is it that you're feeling like you want to develop in your personality. Of course, another way of journaling is just called brain dump, which means what? You just dump whatever is coming to you, especially if you're an emotional person. Every morning, if you can just go, today I'm feeling irritated. I wonder what the irritation is about. I think it was because yesterday so-and-so said this to me. So you know what happens? You tend to go into what I really didn't like about what they said, what actually they said, what I took it as, or it reminded me of in my childhood someone having said something similar. So you can do a lot of deep reflection or brain dumping. Just remove it on paper, one page. That all of these are helpful. I've seen different people get attracted to different ways of journaling. So very important to explore your own way. Yeah. I'm not loyal to any one way, so I can't really profess by saying this is the one that works best for me. Like I said, every month I have a different diary, a different this thing, and my husband's given up on me because he'll say every book of yours has 30 pages written and then the rest is empty, because I've changed the format of my journaling, so I changed my book. So anybody, stationery lovers in the room will know what I'm talking about. How many of you have, like, you'll start a book and then 30 pages will be filled and the balance is empty? And if I just tear 30 pages of every book, in some of the books it could be 7, 8, 10 pages also, I will have at least 20 new journals without having to buy a new one. You seem to have reduced weight. Yeah, thank you, if that was a compliment. Saubana, looking fabulous, amazing playlist, looking beautiful as always. How to increase good vibes of any place? By increasing your own good vibes. Okay, so see how you would love to chanting, sound, you know, how we have bells in temple. You can put some bell music, you can put some chimes. Just walking around, I love to take just a scale, a ruler, and just walk around blessing the walls, blessing the table, blessing the chair, blessing, you know, just you emitting good energy will actually make the place more good energy. So that is another way of you doing it. Any sort of puja, any sort of ritual routine, lighting the candle, inviting good vibrations, air and sunlight, of course. Open up all the windows, let the sun come in. The more sunlight a place hits, the more bacteria dies. The more bacteria dies, the more vibrations go up. So just so many different ways of how you can do that. Agarbatti, any sort of aroma therapy is very helpful. I just love walking around with some herbs. I'll just burn some herbs and walk around. All of that is another way of increasing the vibes of your place. Yes, that's what I'm doing. I normally wait. Yes. Very excited for this Saturday and Sunday. Looking forward to almost close to 400 of you are going to be in the room this weekend, and really looking forward to all of you going through Coaching Mastery with me. So those of you who are enrolled and are here today, get ready. It's going to be a very exciting 2 days together. I'm really excited. I'm doing Coaching Mastery after almost 6 months. So, you know, whenever I do something after a really long time, I feel very deeply connected to it because there's a freshness that comes into it. So I'm so excited that you'll experience the fresh, new, latest version of Coaching Mastery. Happy birthday. It's not my birthday, but in case you're wishing yourself or someone else, then happy birthday. Benita, hi Puja, I have to share this today. You look so much younger than before. Maybe it's just a filter. There's a filter I particularly use, and in case it just could be that, I don't know. Or maybe because I've not been too well, so I've just maybe lost a little weight, and that's maybe causing me to look. I have no idea. How does it matter? I teach people how to take compliments. I better learn to take compliments myself. Thank you very much, sweetheart. Poonam Jain, hey Puja, how do you help someone who has anxiety? For me, whenever I'm helping someone with anxiety, I love to tell them, look at what it is you can control and what it is you can't control and make a list. And then, you know what, more concentrate on the things that you can do rather than what you can't do, because our anxiety normally comes from trying to control things that are actually in God's control. So if you list out your anxiety, just mark out what is God's responsibility and what is yours. Now, what is yours, you must do, but what is God, just increase your faith and surrender in God. I always believe this, that sometimes, you know what, we take on the worry because we want to be in control of something that's not in our control, that's never going to be in our control, you know. So very important it is to replace anxiety with faith and surrender, with prayers, with deep belief that, you know what, it's all going to work out for you. And in case it doesn't, that only means there's a mild delay because God wants you to learn something more before He gives it whatever it is that you want. So in all ways, if you can just build faith and surrender, all of your anxiety will start to settle. Unless it's a chemical locha, then you need to go to a therapist and of course do it the right way. Vandana, change the energy. Should we opt for NLP training? Why not? Again, a very, very beautiful methodology of how you can help people. I do the more success principle style, which is through Jack Canfield. In that also we use a little bit of NLP, but of course it's not the complete NLP process. But I am starting my own certification program, which is called one-to-one coaching certification. I'm very excited about it. But NLP is also beautiful. So for anybody here who's feeling pulled towards NLP, definitely explore it, because I believe all of these are literally psychology packaged in a beautiful manner. So NLP is one of the best psychology packaging that I have seen. You are a God-sent angel. Love you. Thank you for that. So graceful. Thank you. Can't wait for Saturday, Sunday. Is it coming again, or is it just someone rewriting that? Anki, yes, I do the same and got into journaling during my self-discovery process. Oh, lovely. Is angel healing and tarot reading a good profession? Yes, absolutely. Why not? So I do believe that there are two kinds of coaches, one who consciously help people and one who are more from the other realm. When I say other realm, they are using energies which are invisible to most people. So tarot reading, angel healing, all of this belongs to the other realm. And there are people who believe in that and there are people who don't believe in that. So you are targeting a segment of society that has a belief in all of those things. I definitely am someone who says, I believe in everything and yet I believe in myself the most. So that's something you'll often hear me say, because I love I love healings, I love readings, I love any sort of predictions, I love Vastu, I love Feng Shui, I love tarot reading, everything, okay? And yet, having said that, if someone predicts something for me that doesn't suit my mind, I will then overcome it through my powerful personality. So I know I am more powerful than any prediction made by someone on me. And the fact that now I know that there is a prediction, it's like if you know there is going to be an obstacle or if you know there's going to be a detour, won't you just turn your car, or will you go bang into the barricade? No, na? So the same way, I feel like sometimes some of these readings may say something to you, and people who interpret these readings for you must make sure that you always predict things as something that can happen rather than something will happen, which is very, very important, because remember, our mind is the strongest. There is no prediction that can be made on you that you cannot outgrow. So just know that. Some pundits will tell you wear a crystal and outgrow it. Some will tell you do yagna and outgrow it. Some will say go light a candle in that church and outgrow it. Some will tell you to do some extra chanting and outgrow it. But the truth is, we can outgrow any prediction made on us. So while I love all of that, I also believe that it should never be done to create more fear in someone. Having said that, I myself right now currently is going through some healing. Last night, actually, my healer spent at least an hour healing me, and I'm feeling so much better today. So for me to say that it doesn't work would be just wrong, because I myself use all of these things for my own personal self. Mohana, hi, I have a toxic in-laws, though I do a lot of work. I'm starting to complain in-laws to my hubby, where I tried to prove myself and now I'm looking wrong to my hubby. My in-laws are acting, how to handle. Mohana, very important is to understand that you are not versus your hubby and in-laws. You and your hubby are versus them. So you know what, you need to come back into the bedroom and speak to him in a manner of where you include him in the conversation rather than feel rejected by him. Okay, what do I mean when I say this? When you come into the room, instead of saying your parents always, or you always, or nobody understands me in this house, when we use sentences or choice of words of that category, we separate ourselves, right? Instead, what if you had to have the conversation that, you know what, I understand that your parents expect more from me, but you please help me, because you know what, this is what all I do in the day. These are my timings. Now, beyond this, I don't have more time to do. So you guide me, no, you help me. You tell me what I should do when. For 1 week, I will do it in that manner. And then you guide me a little more. And you know what, getting him onto your side, in him realizing that she's being honest, she's being truthful. It's not about fighting, it's not about complaining. But if you can make him realize that, you know what, you and I are on the same side. I also want to do for them. Why will I not want to do for my own house? Of course I want to do. But I get demoralized when I'm constantly being told what I'm not doing. Right? And so therefore, if you can have a conversation where he becomes your friend rather than their son, you will win this battle. And I really would love for you to spend time learning how to speak to him in a manner that he's yours rather than 1 versus 3. I want it to be him and you versus them and versus them. Yeah. So see if you can start to change your vocabulary and you can stop feeling accused, rather get smart. You know, I spent a year promising myself that I'm not going to complain to Puneet about anyone in his family ever. A whole year. Because I knew that in doing that, I actually distance him. When I don't complain and I ask him literally for help, that look, this is what's happening. I need your help. You know, I remember once telling him that, you know what, when somebody asks you for something, just say yes to them, come into the room and discuss with me. We'll see how to make it work. They are the outsiders. We are together. And I kept re-emphasizing that. And I feel like that really helped us grow our relationship. And I feel every couple should try to do that. So Mohana, right now you may be in a situation where everything may look very bleak to you, darling. But there will come a time where if you speak correctly long enough, a time will come where you and him will become one. And you know what? From that day, what will happen? Instead of you having to face them, he will start to face them for you. But that's if you are able to get him to believe that literally your intentions are good. The most important thing is to keep our intentions good. Neha Life Skills. Hey Puja, how do you get so motivated every day no matter what? And how are you even more passionate about one's work and being accountable to us by own? I'm going to guess that you're discussing about just being more motivated and accountable. Neha, honestly speaking, you know, when you reach a place in your life that you had dreamt of all your life, you have nothing but to be more grateful for. So I remember a time when I wanted to do Insta Lives, but no one wanted to hear me. You see, when 5 people used to come, 6 people used to come right in the beginning of my Insta Lives or right in the beginning of my journey when I wanted clients, but there was no one. Now I'm showing off that I have 400 people coming this weekend. Yes, but you know what? There was a time when I remember wanting 10 people in the room and 2 showed up. And I remember doing 2 full days with 2 people. So it was crazy. So today when I know that there are 203 of you waiting every Wednesday for me to come and speak, I feel it's a moral responsibility on me to show up. So I'm just so extremely grateful. You know, when in life, the dreams that you had 5 years ago are then coming true, you should never complain about what you had asked God for in the first place. Right? So this is what really motivates me. Every morning when I wake up, I know I'm living my dream life. At that point, I was motivated that I was creating my dream life. Now I'm motivated that I'm living my dream life, you know. And now God is only going on opening more and more doors for me. So I would say if you're currently in a space where you're creating your dream life, then I want you to start to truly in your heart believe that what I believe my success came because I served those 2 people the same way like I'm going to serve these 400 that are going to be coming this weekend. So my energy didn't shift. I didn't think, oh, it's only 2, so let me make it easier for myself. No, I did it with that same enthusiasm because what you do with 2, what you do with 10, what you do with 50, only then it will become 400 someday. Some of us want to keep all of our good stuff. When we have more followers, we will share. Always remember, you will only get followers when you will share, right? So if you're right in the beginning of your journey, I'm going to just say become extremely respectful of your journey. Start to treat it like sacred. You know, the more sacred you treat your work, the more. I remember every morning entering my office and believing I'm entering my temple. I used to sit there like as if it's my temple. I used to behave. When I used to sit on that chair, I used to take on a different avatar inside my body because I really wanted to believe that I'm doing God's work. And whether it was 1, 2 or 5 that I helped that day, that's the attitude I carried. And when you have that attitude, you don't need no external motivation, which does not in any way mean that you won't be fatigued, you won't be exhausted, you won't feel tired, you won't feel demotivated. But you know what? Your ability to jump back into what you do will be much, much faster when your approach is that, you know what? It's not just me, it's me and God co-authoring. So if I play 50%, he'll play 50%. If I play 70%, he'll play 70%. If I play 100%, he'll play 100%. And if you want God, when God plays 100% in your life, he gives you things you couldn't have ever imagined. So you want God to play 100%, so you start to play 100%, my sweetheart. I hope some of this is helpful to you, darling. Ayers, at what point should one get a life coach? I struggle with low self-esteem and I think that confidence has affected my potential professionally. This is Shreya. Shreya, such a beautiful question, darling. At any point where you start to want to do more in your life than what you're doing, when you start to want more from your own self, that's the time to get a life coach. One of my missions or dreams is that every single woman should have a big sister. In my tribe, we call coaches big sisters. And I believe that there will come a time, a year or two from now, where I will have so many coaches working with me alongside as partners that no matter which troubled person is going to write to me or DM me, I'll have someone to assist them. And I really hope and pray that this dream of mine comes true, because in my life, I was able to change my mindset, my life set, my heart set, all because at every point I had someone closely watching me and guiding me. And in that watching and guiding, my transformation happened. So if you are looking for transformation, I highly recommend you get a coach. So I'm totally I'm 100% into promoting that every single person, it doesn't matter who you are, every single person should have a coach. Yes, it can be subject specific. So if you're struggling in health, it can be a dietitian, it can be a nutritionist, it can be a fitness instructor, it can be a gym coach. So you can choose in which sphere do you want to grow to have a coach in that sphere. But that you should have a coach in different spheres of your life, 100%. I think they save you minimum 2 to 3 years. Where you will get on your own, maybe, is 2 to 3 years. They can get you there in 90 to 180 days. So why will we not, increase our bandwidth of living life to our bestest when it is possible now, and these people are hireable now? Earlier on in India, we didn't have this level of availability. Today, when it's there, why not? So thank you for asking that beautiful question. Only shows me how ready you are for taking your life to the next level. Sasipriya 31, what kind of meditation is good for focus and concentration? Other than meditation, is something better to focus and being calm? So Sasipriya, according to me, all meditations help you increase focus and concentration. So try different meditations. There's a meditation where you can just light a candle and just keep looking at the wick. There's another one where you can actually keep chanting. That helps you bring your mind back. Breathing exercises are also like meditation, because you really have to be present. Guided visualizations work beautifully to keep your mind focused. Good music, so Beethoven or all of those classical music, they say, like Brian Tracy, when he was writing his books, he used to always say that when his mind used to feel tired in about 2 hours of writing, but if he had classical music on in the background, he could go 6, 8 hours without his mind getting tired, because our mind gets tired of a particular activity. Whenever his mind was getting tired, the mind would shift into listening to that music and then shift back. The important thing he mentioned was that it should not have lyrics, because you don't want it to turn into a distraction. You want it to turn into a complementing activity. So see if you can try all of these things to increase your focus. Again, there is another thing called the Pomodoro technique, which is all about going 45 minutes, one stretch of one activity, and then taking a 15 minutes break. Then again doing a 45 minutes activity and then taking a break of 15 minutes. So if you want to try the Pomodoro technique, you can Google it and look it up. Another great way of increasing your focus and concentration. Digital Mal Priya. Ma'am, my husband is into casting of female models. He gives all clarity and introduces me to all who I want to talk to, but I yet feel insecure. I don't like his pictures with models. Please guide. Priya, I totally understand where you're coming from, sweetheart, because you know what, when our husbands, I remember at one point thinking, imagine being married to a gynecologist, or imagine being married to a photographer, or imagine being married to someone who's always, surrounded by gorgeous women. How would I feel? And I can imagine myself getting insecure. But over the years, I think it's very important that we start to trust. At some point, for our own sanity, you need to start to trust, and what is very important in that is that if he wants to have an affair, trust me, your insecurity is not stopping him. And if he doesn't want to have it, your insecurity is not going to make him. So starting to realize that this is not about you or how you look or how you are, but it's all about his personality, his integrity, his way of being. And what you need to start to notice is, how is he? And like you very beautifully mentioned, that he introduces you to all of them, he lets you talk to all of them. So you know what, he's trying his level best to build that trust with you, but you must give him a chance, right? Now, he hasn't done anything yet to break your trust. So I think it's very important for your relationship to grow that you give this relationship that fresh new chance, because without that, though, this will, even if he doesn't have to, a time will come where he'll be so fed up of your insecurity that he may want to look for a real relationship where someone can trust him. You know how annoying it is to continuously be questioned when you haven't done anything. So my suggestion is, give the gift of trust to your husband, and if he ever breaks it, that's when you need to reconsider everything. So the question you have to ask yourself is, am I prepared for the consequences that I will have to face when and if he breaks it? So the deal I have with Puneet is that, you know what, we're going to trust each other. We don't need to, keep on snooping on one another. But if ever you break it, Puneet, how would you like me to react? And the same question he's asked me, and we have a whole thought process on how we will react with one another, that if our trust gets broken, how we will behave, what we will do with each other, and knowing our code of honor after. For example, maybe between us, some couples are very restrictive, some couples are a little more lenient, some couples are very lenient. It all depends on your chemistry with your person. So you have to kind of decide how much is too much, where does somebody draw the line. If you have these kind of clear conversations, you will start to feel more confident. I read this sentence somewhere and I really loved it, that trust is not what the other person does to you. It is what you do with yourself when someone breaks it. So you have to know that if he ever breaks your trust, do you have the power to leave? Do you have the power to forgive? Do you have the power to fix the situation? How would you want the outcome to be? And if you can get into that space and start to feel confident about the outcome, your insecurity will start to reduce. Otherwise, you're going to live a very uncomfortable life for a very long time, which neither you deserve and nor does he. And it's giving too much power to the models. Imagine a model who doesn't even know you, doesn't even know your husband well enough, comes into the picture, and now suddenly she is the most important person between you and him. Suddenly you're discussing, you were sitting next to her and laughing so much. That girl doesn't even know that she's created so much issue. I mean, isn't it giving someone who's so random too much power? So all of this I would love for you to consider. If he gives you a day when there is a reason to doubt. But till there's no reason to doubt, don't unnecessarily keep doubting. You're going to ruin your peace of mind and his. Yeah, God bless you, sweetheart. It's a difficult situation. I understand that, but you'll have to grow into becoming that woman who's so comfortable in herself. Aren't all these actors' wives dealing with all of this all the time? So aren't they learning? Didn't Gauri Khan at some point, or Suzanne Khan at some point, Suzanne Khan, sorry, unfortunately now no longer together, but all who are with their husbands had to learn that, right? And some of them have beautiful marriages, I hear. So why not emulate or look at someone who you admire in the industry and start to notice how she's carrying herself. How is Meera Kapoor carrying herself? Or look for someone you admire, because otherwise life will become very hellish. You know? Devika wins. How to increase? We already answered that. You're looking like, thank you. Let's go right to the bottom and see what's happening there. I love your divine feminine energies. God bless you, sweetheart. Thank you for that. Right at the bottom, right to the bottom. If you have a question and you want me to answer it, put it right at the bottom. Shweta Angel Good. How to handle your mood when you have to do something important but have no mood for it. Interesting. So, you can either be governed by moods or you can be governed by commitment. Ordinary women, moods control them. Goddess women, their commitment controls them, right? Somebody had just asked me, Puja, how do you show up every Wednesday? Doesn't matter whether you're in Goa or in Maldives or wherever part of the world you're traveling. You just come every Wednesday. Because my moods don't control me, sweetheart. My commitment does. I know that, and if I want to be ordinary, then my moods will control me. Aaj dil kara to kiya, nahi kiya to nahi kara. That's not how you build your commitment muscle. That's not how you build consistency. That's not how you attract success. Okay? If you want to attract success in your life, you have to start to tell yourself, moods will come and go. Moods are like tantrums that we throw. We can't be giving into every tantrum. We have to build ourselves much stronger, much bigger. Hai na? So today onwards, when your moods come, say, I know you're here. I know I don't feel like, but I know I can beat you. You will never be able to beat me. And start to have direct conversation with moods, creating your moods as not your friend, but something that is there to distract you. So if you start to look at your moods as distraction, then your desire to overcome them, remember, increases your personality. It grows your personality. And one of the things I'd love for each one of us to do, if you're coming here every Wednesday, is to start to grow your personality. And one of the easiest ways to grow your personality is to beat your moods. Beat your moods day in, day out, day in, day out. Now, I'm not saying don't honor your exhaustion. That's different, okay? So if you've done something useful in one day, but you had put 5 things that you want to do useful, then you're overdoing it and you will get burnt out, you will get fatigue, you will get exhaustion. So I honor my exhaustion, but I don't honor my moods. And there's a difference, and learning to understand that difference is also part of the process of growth. Okay, darling? Tea-spirited. Hi, Rockstar. How to know your niche for being a coach? Can we add a workshop format in that? I don't know exactly what you're asking me. How to know your niche for being a coach? Honestly speaking, if you know who you are good with, the most that you understand a category of people is ideally your best niche. So if you understand students, then students are your niche. If you understand college students, then college students, women or men or working women or divorcees or marriages, what it is, where is your expertise? Where is it that you master? That's what ideally your niche should be. Okay. If you don't have a niche, I always say your own version 3 to 5 years ago is your niche. Because who can you understand more than you yourself, correct? So one of the best ways, if you don't understand what your niche is, just go back to look at who was I 2 years ago and what was I struggling with, and who can I help now with what I was struggling with 2, 3, 5 years ago. And that is a perfect place to start. Now, I'm not a big believer of niche. If you've ever heard me talk, I always believe that I am a topic expert, and whoever needs it, please come to me. Which means a cardiologist, for most cardiologists don't decide the age or the demographic of their patient. What they decide is their topic. If a child needs them, child can come. If an adult needs them, adult can come. If a woman needs them, a woman can come. So I believe, especially if you're in the first 2 years of the industry, if you've just joined the coaching industry and you still haven't crossed your first 700 days, become a topic expert and wait for your niche to unravel to you. Over time, as you try different niches or different demographics, you will start to realize that a time will come when you will start to see that your expertise works best with this kind of person, and let your niche come to you rather than you go seeking it. Now, the only time I make an exception to all of these rules is when I have to put an advertisement where I have to spend money on marketing. So if you're going to spend money on marketing, create an artificial niche for yourself, which means what? Today you can help yoga teachers, tomorrow you can help bakers, next day you can help grad students or graduates. So ads should ideally be targeted specifically with the right dialogues to a particular niche, because you'll get better results. If it is just for you to generally know your niche, you are not spending money on marketing, then please, why do you even need a niche? Whoever comes, help na. Abhi to just work on making yourself so amazing that you can help anybody, okay? Because I feel like we're having too much niche specific conversation. That is only for if you're doing online ads. If you're not doing online ads, you don't need a niche. Like in my one-to-one coaching, like I do a lot of one-to-ones. Whoever comes, I help. I don't see, bhai, is this person the right target person or not? Yeah? I hope something in that helped you, because I didn't really get your second question. Sonika, GBGA, alright, my awakened Sonika. I write gratitude and daily thoughts in one single notebook. Is it correct, or should affirmations and gratitudes and scribblings be done in separate notebooks? You know, Sonika, I get a lot of these questions around what's the right way of a morning routine? What's the right way of doing gratitude? Should we do it in one single book, or should we do it in many books, or should we do it in this manner, or should we do it in that manner? My recommendation, sweetheart, now that you know what it is you need to do, you experiment with what works for you. I have seen giving people morning routines, they don't even wake up till 10 o'clock in the morning. For them, they make the same morning routine, evening routine, and it's working fabulously with them. If I told them, no, you must do it only in the morning, guess what? Even the evening routine won't happen. So the same thing, I know you want to know what is the bestest way. Honestly, there is no bestest way. I just want to congratulate you that you are doing everything I've asked you to do in Awakening. So proud of you, my sweetheart. Now, you can try one single notebook this month, and you can try 3 different notebooks next month, and see where is it that your consistency increases. What is the most important thing when you are setting yourself up for routines and rituals? The most important thing is your consistency should be the best, right? So if your consistency increases by having one book, like this year, I have just one book. I'm doing everything in one book. My rule of 5, my gratitude, my to-do list, my water, how much water I'm drinking, what I'm eating, everything on one. I've picked up a large diary for this year. Last year, I had 6 different books. Now, 6 different books worked beautifully for me. One large book is working beautifully for me. I keep changing because I keep getting bored. So I'm just going to ask you, you know the right answer for yourself. Put your hand on your heart and ask yourself, what's the right answer for me? And then allow for God to guide you. Keeping in mind, what's the most important thing? Consistency. If anything stops you, let's say like for me, I have to travel, right? Now last year, because of COVID, there was hardly any travel. But this year, travel is back. Now I know that for me to carry 6 books in my suitcase every time, P will kill me. So I better not do that. So for me this year, I'm carrying one book because I want to take it with me everywhere I go, even in the aeroplane. So it should be something that I should be able to put in my handbag, right? So that's what I'm keeping in mind. Now you can see this is the thought process I'm having. I've shared with you my entire thought process. Now you use your intelligence and tell me, Sonika, which one do you think will work best for you? I'm sorry, I don't know if I've answered your question, but you know I've actually answered your question. Devika, ma'am, what to do about the old gratitude journals or vision boards? Beautiful question, Devika, because right now I'm emptying out my office. I'm moving my office, and just yesterday I went to my office and oh my God, I found things in my office that I had forgotten were a part of my journey. It was just so beautiful. And I came back and I asked my husband this exact same question, sweetheart, that should I keep all of this? If someday somebody wants to write something about me, this will be gold for them. Or, you know, I'm a very clutter-free person. I don't have anything from my past much. I don't keep much. So I've gotten rid of a lot of stuff. Should I continue that habit of getting rid of things, or should I put these in a carton and start to save them? I'm still not able to find the right answer. The day I do, I will share that with you. But honestly speaking, my son, he has little notes from his friends put in lovely boxes and kept on top in his cupboard because he's a collector. And I honor that about him. But I am someone who gave away my Shadi ka lehenga within the first year of my marriage to some lady who didn't have the money to afford a Shadi ka lehenga. So you can imagine what kind of person I am. Like, I give away things so fast. I'll wear it for 3 months and then it's out of my cupboard. 3 months and then it's out of my cupboard. I'm one of those people who has a walk-in wardrobe where I only took wardrobe on one side and I left one full side empty for just mirror, because I said, you know what, if I'll have more wardrobe, I'll keep more things and more clutter will come. So I'm not a hoarder at all. So again, Devika, I'm going to ask you, find the right answer for yourself. Somehow today that looks like the theme. It looks like I'm not here today to answer the questions as much as I'm here to encourage all of you to go and explore what's the right answer for you. If you ask me right now, what am I thinking in regard to my office space? For the first time, I'm thinking that I'm going to actually start to put everything in cartons and tape them and keep them, that if someday I want to revisit all of it, I feel like it's time I can start to save what I've done, because this is all everything the last 10 years, and the last 10 years of my life have been extremely crucial. So I'm very bending for starting to keep, which I've never done before. So if that helps you in any way. All right, Sandhya, ma'am, I have never doubted my husband, and after this now, after 22 years of our marriage, he has an affair with his college friend. How can I handle this situation? Firstly, sorry, Sandhya, you know what? It doesn't matter whether you doubt or you don't doubt. Like I had spoken earlier to that lady, that it has very little to do with you and everything to do with him. Yeah. Now, what is the most important thing for you to find out is that when you confront him, does he leave her and value you, or does he value her and continues to be with her either by lying to you or by honestly letting you know that I can't leave her for whatever reason? And that's when you'll have to see what decision do you want to take. There is no right answer, Sandhya. There is only the right answer for you. What I will say is, when we stay in a relationship where someone doesn't value you and we go into waiting, we start to create damage in our self-esteem. Damage that is very, very extreme. So my recommendation always is, when you get to hear that information, maybe sometimes you're not really ready to leave because you are in shock. You are devastated. You are in a space where you could be like, oh my God, I can't believe 22 years of my peak prime I have given to this man, and now this is what he's doing to me. So sometimes we have to just give time to absorb the shock and let the emotions settle so that our intelligence can start to get used to what it is I'd like to do. Like, I had a client recently who spent 2 years making herself financially and in every way so strong that then when she left, She left fully prepared rather than like a fool giving up everything and saying, oh, emotionally I need to. She had 2 little children at that point. She was like, you know what, I will leave, but I will not leave just because of what he's done. I'm going to leave when I feel ready to leave. And so she planned her exit, which I think is a very smart thing to do. And when you plan your exit and you become stronger, sometimes the man changes. And if you really love him and you want him to change, when you change your energy, he can land up changing his towards you. And you may just get him back. If that is something that is of interest to you. If that's not of interest to you, just build yourself up. If you're already an empowered woman and he has done something which is completely unacceptable to you, walk away tomorrow if you like. Why am I giving you all of these options? Because I think as society, we have started to either tell the woman you should adjust, sacrifice for the sake of the children, for the sake of the family, for the sake of society, for the sake of honor. And you know what? We make the woman get completely crushed in the process. That's one. Another version I started to hear recently is, you should leave, you should never tolerate this kind of rubbish, and how dare. You know what? Humans make mistakes. And if they are regretful, marriage is a very long relationship, and it is very much possible that one out of the two can land up making this mistake. But when they do, whenever their blinkers do open from whatever that infatuation of 3, 4, 5, 6 months was, they may realize that, oh my God, that was the big mistake, and actually who I'm married to is beautiful and wonderful. And then if we are so busy punishing, the only thing I would say is that only stay if you want to give him a second chance. One of the biggest mistakes we make is that we stay, but we don't forgive. And then what we do is every day we pour acid into the relationship, feeling like, when will that flower bloom? We put more acid and we wait for the flower. We put more acid and we wait for the flower. Remember, if someone has put acid in the relationship and you keep repeating all that he's done on a daily basis and you keep pouring more acid, there is no flower that's going to bloom. Both of you are going to be completely burnt out by the end. So just giving you a 360-degree perspective on how I need you to start thinking. I don't think, again, I have the right answer. What I do know is that you need to start to look at, where is it you see yourself 5 years from now? What is it you want from this relationship? What is your level of love for this man? What is your level of love for yourself? How financially independent are you? Maybe I should make a list of all the questions a woman should ask herself when she realizes that, you know, she's being cheated on. And as you answer those questions, you can score yourself and realize, how should you leave? Should you stay? Should you leave after some time? Should you convince him to come back to you? Should you, what it is that you need to do would be, I think, you've just given me an idea. I'm just thinking about it loudly. But yeah, so darling, you are in a very, very difficult situation and you need to process this beautifully so that at the end of the tunnel, you are the winner. I have seen a lot of women, in trying to punish their men, land up actually punishing their own whole life. And I hope that's not a journey you go on, darling. If you need any other extra help, reach out to my company, Life by Design. Gunjan's number is there. Let's see how we can assist you and help you, because really, this is why I say every woman needs a big sister. We don't know when we'll get hit with with news or things like this. And I think we need to have that tribe, that community, that backup, so that when we get hit, instead of going down, we go up. And that's really what I would love for you, Sandhya. 2 years from now, I hope you come back to one of my Insta lives and say, you know what, Puja, I'm living my dream life. Whether with the same man or a new man or no man at all, doesn't matter. But I really hope that you rise from this trauma rather than fall. So sending you blessings, my sweetheart. The pacifist. What to do when you're only a giver and not a receiver? Pacifist, my sweetheart, one of the things we have to understand is, those that we give to, we may not receive from. But there are people in this world you are receiving from. The problem is when we start to expect to want to receive from the ones we are giving to. Unfortunately, that's not how the river flows. The river flows up to down, right? So I want you to start to honor and acknowledge who are the people who are giving to you. For your having the ability to give to others, there must be someone filling your pot, right? Now start to look at, is it your boss? Is it your company? Is it your work ethic? Is it your parents? Is it who is giving to you and who are you giving to? And if you can shift your expectations of receiving from the people that you're giving to, suddenly you will see your life becoming so much more happier. One of the rules I have in my life is that those who I give to, don't expect from. And those who I get from, honor them. And don't try to return the favor, because you know what? You can never. Just keep such a grateful heart towards them that they know that you're going to be there no matter what. But I think this whole giver-taker situation needs to be understood a little more deeply if you want to really become happy in your life. Now, the other thing I'd love for you to notice is that sometimes what we are giving in, we may not be receiving in that, but we may be receiving something else. So I may be giving someone money, but I may be receiving respect in return. I may be giving someone love and I may be receiving advice from them in return. So I don't know, but you have to sometimes start to measure that, you know, it becomes our expectation. I gave him when it was his troubled times. Now when it's my troubled times, he's not giving me. There was no promise made that what you will give in is what he will give back to you in. Maybe he's already given back to you in different ways and you've not even noticed them. So this whole give and take, become the queen of your life. A queen is a giver, and being a giver is a gift God has given you. I hope you remain a giver, my sweetheart, all your life and never the taker. Takers always are the lower. Givers are the ones who have how the river flows from up to down, right? So you are the one who's up. God bless you in that situation of being up. Start to honor the fact that you are on top, you are up. And may God bring more people in your life to receive from you. May you have so much. If you can just give a new twist to how you're looking at this whole giving-taking situation, my gut feel is that your heart will grow, and as your heart will blossom, your ability to serve the world will become so much more, and all of this pettinesses of looking at people and waiting to receive from them will start to dissolve, maybe slowly but surely, because I want you to reach a place in your life where when you receive, it comes naturally, and when you give, it goes naturally. I hope you reach that place rather than trying to do business or barter. Remember, if you want the same thing or something back from the person you're giving, then that's called business. It's not called relationship. That's called business. That's not called giving. Then you're not a giver. You are a businesswoman. You're saying, I will give today, but I'm investing. I'm not giving. I want this back in whatever timeline or how much ever, whenever. So start to see really what choice of words you want to use for yourself. And if you want to be a smart businesswoman, why not? I'm totally game for that, but know then that's what you're doing. Yeah, sweetheart? God bless you. Bharti Muttu Sami. Puja, can you suggest some non-fiction books? Absolutely. I just packed up 500 of them from my office yesterday. So yeah, lots of books I took out, and it was so nice to revisit some of those books. They were really nice. What I'll do is, Bharti, I will ask my office to share my top 10 books in the stories today. So if anybody from my office is listening to my Insta Live, can you just make sure that my top 10 books poster is shared in my story? Bharti, just go there. There's The Ant and the Elephant, there's Eat That Frog, there's The Success Principles, there's The Magic of Thinking Big, there is The Big Magic, there is The Secret. All of these are fabulous books to read. If you want some latest books, just go to a bookstore and look at their non-fiction this thing and see which book is jumping at you. So I like to wait for books to jump out at me. There are so many new good books. Everything is Figure Outable by Marie Forleo is a fabulous book. Oprah just came out with her new book. That's beautiful. Tony Robbins on health picked up. I received my life Force book this morning. It is, I think, 800 pages. I didn't realize it was that fat, and it's all about how to increase your longevity. Very interesting book for someone who's interested in looking at their health and wants to see where science is going with the whole concept of longevity. So again, so many books, my darling. Look at what topics it is that you're interested in, and I'm definitely sharing my top 10 with you today in my stories. So Bharti, one of the things you'll have to do is go to my stories and find that poster. Okay, darling? All right, we're at 4:55. Vanna's asking, what business is Puneet into? He's into real estate, my sweetheart. I want to just announce the Insta winners of last time. For all of you who very sweetly every week take a picture of mine, put it on your stories and share your big takeaways for the week. You know you win my book, Unlocking the Golden Cage. I'm going to announce who were the winners last week. So the Insta Live winners for last week were Sashini Bhatt. Sashini Bhatt, I think, is Shubhda's Bhatt's daughter. So congratulations, my sweetheart. So happy to have you here. Glad that you must be back from school. And for all you know, you may be watching this. If you're watching this, do put your comment down below. I would love to know if you're here. Oh, Bharti Muthuswamy, you are one of the winners, my sweetheart. So happy to see you already here. I just answered. You're going to be receiving my book, my darling. So start with that. Nagashri Satvik _ dance. Nagashri Satvik _ dance. Massive congratulations to you. And Namu 7. So Namu 7. These are our 4 winners. Sashini, Bharti Muthuswamy, Nagashri Satvik and Namu 7. A massive congratulations. It seems that you have last week put my photo and your takeaways, and that's what's made you a winner. Now for this week, for all of you who would like to participate in winning a book from me, which is currently unfortunately not available on Amazon, and there's no other way of getting it but to win it, do me a favor, quickly click a picture, write your takeaways, share it in your story. I'll share it in my story, and you will then next week we will announce you as the winners. So I'll take a moment and smile. Now would be a good time to take a picture. I feel like a model. Just having some fun. All right, let's go right to the bottom and see what's happening there. Please start your workshops in person. I would love to attend a live event with you. God bless you. I really hope it starts this year. Yeah, come on. I'm really praying by June that happens. I would love to start to do my at least once a month live event would be, okay, once in 3 months. Let me not get greedy. Once in 3 months at least I should have, an event, and I hope some of you are able to come for it. Let me go right to the bottom, right to the bottom. You don't need to do anything. If you are a winner, we will DM you your address, asking you for your address, and then all you need to do is just send us your phone number, address, your full name, and you'll receive the book. Not to worry. Please share how can we get to know more about the Goddess Awakening program and the Coaching Mastery program. Megha Kapoor, under this video today, there is a lady called Gunjan the Dreamer who shares her phone number every week on Insta Live. Just pick up the phone, call her up, and she'll give you all the details. Okay, sweetheart? So anybody here who wants to know more, let me even actually just read out Gunjan's phone number to you so that we can once and for all have all of you. Just give her a call. She's there to support all of you, to help you find out how to join different courses of mine, which one, where, what. So note down this number, 78239-88142. 78239-88142. My dear darling Gunjan, Radhika, Divya, Rashmita, all in my office are waiting for all of you to call and join one of our programs. Trust me, it'll be life transforming. So if you haven't thought of it, come for the masterclass. I think the next masterclass is happening on the 5th of March. Come for it. I'll give you the complete update. And if you like what you hear, only then join. Otherwise, keep coming back for my Insta lives. I'm anyway here to serve you all. Oh, didn't expect this. Sashni, congratulations, my sweetheart. So happy to see you here. And for all of you who won, very, very happy. Congratulations, Bharti. Congratulations, each one of you. And I hope the ones who haven't won are not giving up hope and you're going to continuously keep sharing. Why is your mang yellow? Actually, I go to the temple on Tuesday and that's the red sindoor that has come off and I think it's turned yellow now. So it's actually red that has become yellow because the redness has gone away, but the turmeric may have stayed. So that's why my mang is yellow. But good observation you have, I must say. Alright, it's 5 p.m. Thank you so much all for coming. Loads of love. Bye. Thank you. Take care. See you next week. And for all of you who want to win the book, don't forget to share your biggest takeaways along with my picture on your story and I will make sure I announce your name next week. Yeah? Bye. Ciao.